The Olympics are a global sporting event held every 4 years where athletes from around the world compete in a wide range of sports. The Games are a celebration of athleticism, unity, and peaceful competition, bringing together nations regardless of political or cultural differences. The Olympic spirit, unity and competition. The Olympic motto, Citius Altius Fortius, faster, higher, stronger, embodies the core values of the Games, encouraging athletes to strive for excellence. The Olympics have become a symbol of global unity, transcending political boundaries, wars, and social unrest. Overview of the ancient and modern Olympics. The Olympic Games have evolved from a religious and athletic festival in ancient Greece to a modern global event. While the ancient Olympics were centered around honoring the gods, the modern Olympics emphasize international cooperation and friendly competition. Mythological origins. According to Greek mythology, the Olympics were founded by Hercules, in honor of his father, Zeus, after completing his 12 labors. Another legend attributes the founding of the Games to the demigod Pelops, who won a chariot race against King Oenomaus to marry his daughter. The first recorded Games, 776 BCE. The first historical record of the Olympic Games dates back to 776 BCE, when athletes from various Greek city-states gathered at Olympia, a sanctuary dedicated to Zeus. These games were part of a religious festival and served as a way to promote unity among the often warring Greek city-states. The religious significance of the Games. The ancient Olympics were closely linked to the worship of Zeus. Sacrifices and religious ceremonies were integral parts of the Games, and athletes competed not only for personal glory but also to honor the gods. Events in the ancient Olympics. The ancient Games featured a variety of events, including stadion, a short foot race; pentathlon, a 5-event competition including running, jumping, discus, javelin, and wrestling; pankration, a brutal form of mixed martial arts; chariot racing. These events tested strength, speed, and endurance, reflecting the values of Greek society. The participants and athletes. Participation in the ancient Olympics was limited to free-born Greek men. Women were not allowed to compete, though they had their own athletic festival, the Heraia, in honor of Hera. Only the elite of society could afford the time and resources to train for the Games. Rituals and ceremonies. The Games began with a sacred truce, during which warring city-states ceased hostilities. Competitors swore an oath to compete fairly before Zeus. Victorious athletes were crowned with an olive wreath and celebrated as heroes in their home cities. Prizes and rewards. Unlike modern athletes who receive medals, ancient Olympic champions were awarded symbolic prizes such as olive wreaths or crowns. These victories brought immense honor and often tangible rewards, such as free meals for life or exemption from taxes. Roman influence and changes to the Games. By the time the Roman Empire had expanded into Greece, the Olympics began to change. Roman emperors introduced new events and diminished the religious significance of the Games. Professional athletes and corruption became more common. The rise of Christianity and the end of the Olympics. The rise of Christianity in the 4th century CE under Emperor Theodosius Thirst led to the banning of the Olympic Games in 393 CE. The Games, seen as a pagan festival, were suppressed as part of the empire's move toward Christianity. The influence of classical ideals on the Renaissance. The Renaissance sparked renewed interest in ancient Greek and Roman culture, laying the intellectual groundwork for the revival of the Olympic Games. Classical ideals of physical fitness and competition regained prominence in European thought. The vision of Pierre de Coubertin. The modern Olympics were revived largely due to the efforts of Baron Pierre de Coubertin, a French educator. Inspired by the ancient Greek ideal of athletic competition, Coubertin envisioned a modern Olympic Games that would promote peace, friendship, and healthy competition. The founding of the International Olympic Committee, IOC. In 1894, Coubertin established the International Olympic Committee, IOC, to oversee the organization of the modern Olympics. The IOC continues to manage the Games today, ensuring their adherence to the Olympic spirit. The first modern Olympics, Athens, 1896. The first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens in 1896, bringing together 14 nations and 241 athletes competing in 43 events. The Games were a success, marking the beginning of a new era for international sports. The early years of the modern Olympics. The early modern Olympics struggled to gain global attention, with limited participation and financial challenges. However, by the early 20th century, the Games began to grow in popularity and prestige, with more countries and athletes participating. Inclusion of new sports and the growth of the Games. Over the years, the Olympics have expanded to include new sports such as basketball, cycling, and swimming. The introduction of team sports and the inclusion of women's events greatly broadened the appeal of the Games. Women's participation in the Olympics. The 1900 Paris Olympics marked the first time women were allowed to compete, though only in a few events like tennis and golf. Since then, the inclusion of women's events has expanded, and today, gender equality is a key goal of the IOC. The Olympic motto and symbols. The modern Olympic motto, Citius Altius Fortius, encourages athletes to push beyond their limits. Other iconic symbols of the Games include the Olympic rings, representing the union of the 5 continents, and the Olympic flame, which is lit at Olympia and carried to the host city. The creation of the Winter Olympics, Chamonix, 1924. The first Winter Olympics were held in Chamonix, France in 1924, featuring sports such as skiing, ice skating, and bobsleigh. The Winter Games provided an opportunity to showcase the growing popularity of winter sports and have since become an integral part of the Olympic movement. Development of winter sports. The Winter Olympics have grown substantially since their inception. Events such as alpine skiing, ice hockey, figure skating, and snowboarding have become fan favorites. With the addition of new events over the years, the Winter Games have captured a unique global audience that enjoys winter sports at the highest level of competition. Memorable Winter Olympic moments. The Winter Olympics have seen countless historic moments. The miracle on ice during the 1980 Winter Games, where an underdog U.S. hockey team defeated the dominant Soviet Union, remains one of the most famous Olympic moments. Similarly, athletes like Norwegian skier Marit Bjørgen, the most decorated Winter Olympian, and figure skaters like Sonja Henie and Yuzuru Hanyu have left lasting legacies. The 1936 Berlin Olympics and Nazi propaganda. The 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin, held under Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime, are infamous for the use of the Games as a platform for Nazi propaganda. Despite the efforts to showcase Aryan superiority, Jesse Owens, an African-American athlete from the U.S., won 4 gold medals, undermining the Nazi racial ideology. The Olympic boycotts, 1980 and 1984. The 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by the U.S. and several other Western countries in protest of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. In response, the Soviet Union and its allies boycotted the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. These boycotts underscored the impact of global politics on the Olympic movement. The impact of the Cold War on the Games. Throughout the Cold War, the Olympics became a battleground for the ideological struggle between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Both nations sought to demonstrate their superiority through athletic prowess, contributing to fierce competition and record-breaking performances. The Olympics as a platform for social change. Over the years, athletes have used the Olympic stage to protest social injustices. Notable moments include Tommy Smith and John Carlos raising their fists in a Black Power salute during the 1968 Mexico City Games, highlighting racial inequality in the U.S. Athletes continue to use the Olympics to draw attention to various social and political issues. Jesse Owens' triumph in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Jesse Owens' victory in 1936 remains one of the most powerful moments in Olympic history. His 4 gold medals in track and field challenged Hitler's ideology of racial superiority and made him an international symbol of courage and excellence. The Miracle on Ice, 1980 Winter Olympics. The Miracle on Ice is one of the most iconic moments in sports history. The U.S. men's ice hockey team, consisting mostly of amateur players, defeated the heavily favored Soviet team in the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, capturing the imagination of the world. Usain Bolt, dominance in track and field. Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt is considered one of the greatest athletes in Olympic history. His record-breaking performances in the 100 meters and 200 meters at the 2008, 2012, and 2016 Olympics cemented his status as the fastest man in history. Simone Biles and the rise of gymnastics. Simone Biles has redefined gymnastics with her unmatched skill and athleticism. Winning multiple gold medals at the 2016 Rio Olympics, Biles became a global icon and an advocate for mental health, especially after her courageous withdrawal from events during the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Other legendary Olympic athletes. Other athletes who have shaped Olympic history include Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time with 23 gold medals in swimming, Carl Lewis, a dominant figure in track and field, and Larisa Latynina, a Soviet gymnast who set a record for most Olympic medals before Phelps surpassed her. The origins of the Paralympic movement. The Paralympic Games began as a small gathering of British World War II veterans in 1948, led by neurologist Dr. Ludwig Guttmann, as part of rehabilitation efforts. The first official Paralympic Games took place in Rome in 1960, and since then, the Games have grown to become one of the largest global sporting events for athletes with disabilities. The growth of the Paralympics. Over the decades, the Paralympics have expanded to include more sports and athletes from around the world. Sports such as wheelchair basketball, athletics, and swimming have become key events in the Paralympic Games, with athletes showcasing incredible skill and determination. The relationship between the Paralympics and the Olympics. While the Olympics and Paralympics are held in the same host cities, the relationship between the two has strengthened over time. The International Paralympic Committee, IPC, and the International Olympic Committee, IOC, collaborate closely, promoting the values of inclusivity and equality in global sports, broadcast technology, and the global reach of the Olympics. The advent of television transformed the Olympics into a global phenomenon, bringing the Games into millions of homes worldwide. The 1960 Rome Olympics were the first to be broadcast live, and since then, innovations in broadcasting, such as high-definition and live streaming, have expanded the audience further. Advances in sports equipment and facilities. Technological innovations have also enhanced athletic performance and safety. From lighter, more aerodynamic equipment to advanced sportswear that reduces drag, athletes have benefited from technological improvements. Olympic venues have also evolved, with state-of-the-art stadiums and facilities that provide optimal conditions for competition. The use of data and analytics in sports performance. The use of data analytics and wearable technology has revolutionized training and performance in the Olympics. Coaches and athletes now rely on real-time data to monitor performance, optimize training, and reduce the risk of injury, leading to record-breaking achievements across various sports. Doping scandals. The Ben Johnson case. Doping has been one of the most persistent challenges in Olympic history. One of the most infamous cases occurred at the 1988 Seoul Olympics, when Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson was stripped of his gold medal after testing positive for steroids. This scandal highlighted the widespread issue of doping in sports. Corruption and bribery in Olympic bidding. The process of selecting host cities for the Olympics has been tainted by corruption and bribery. The bidding process for the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics led to a major scandal where several IOC members were implicated in accepting bribes in exchange for votes. Controversial judging decisions. Controversial judging decisions have sparked outrage in various Olympic events, from figure skating to gymnastics. One notable incident occurred in the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, where a judging scandal in the pairs figure skating event led to the awarding of dual gold medals. Human rights issues in host nations. The Olympics have been criticized for being hosted in countries with questionable human rights records. The Beijing 2008 and 2022 Olympics faced scrutiny for China's treatment of its citizens, while concerns about workers' rights and freedom of speech have surrounded other host nations as well. Environmental sustainability and the Olympics. As the world faces climate challenges, the Olympics are striving to become more sustainable. Recent host cities, such as Tokyo 2021, have incorporated eco-friendly technologies and infrastructure, including renewable energy, recycled materials, and carbon-neutral goals. Changes in Olympic sports and formats. The Olympic Games continue to evolve, with new sports being introduced to appeal to younger audiences. Events like skateboarding, surfing, and sport climbing debuted at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, showcasing the adaptability of the Games to contemporary sports trends. Virtual and esports in the Olympics. With the rise of esports and virtual competitions, there has been increasing discussion about including digital sports in future Olympic programs. Although esports have not yet been included in the main Olympic Games, their growing popularity may lead to their inclusion in future events. The challenge of maintaining Olympic ideals in a commercial world. The Olympics face the challenge of balancing commercial interests with the core ideals of the Games. Corporate sponsorships, television rights, and commercialization have brought financial success, but also criticism that the Olympics have strayed from their original values of amateurism and pure competition. The enduring legacy of the Olympics. The Olympic Games remain one of the world's most prestigious and unifying events, transcending political, social, and cultural differences. The spirit of the Olympics continues to inspire athletes and spectators alike, reminding the world of the power of unity through sport. The role of the Olympics in global peace and unity. Since their revival, the Olympics have promoted peace and friendly competition, serving as a reminder that nations can come together in the spirit of camaraderie and mutual respect. The Games continue to stand as a symbol of hope and a celebration of human potential. The future of the Olympic movement. As the Olympics evolve to meet the demands of a changing world, their core values of excellence, friendship, and respect endure. The future of the Games depends on preserving these ideals while adapting to the new challenges of the modern era.